Alright, welcome back to another video. This is number 4 of a 5-part series in which I talk about forward statistics. No defense, just forwards. My first video, we talked about shooting percentage and shots. The second video, we talked about penalty minutes and face-off wins. My last video, we talked about points and assists. Today, we're talking about hits, my favorite column. The next and final video will be about goals and power play points. So let's get started, shall we? Starting off with number 10. Top 10 in the league in hits is Wagner. Chris Wagner of the Boston Bruins, 192 hits. Now he's obviously a fourth liner, 6 foot, 198 pounds. He's 28 years old. He signed for 3 more seasons at $1.35 million. Is it expensive contract? No, that's okay. It's not bad. I mean, he puts up maybe at the most 19 points in a season. He's an energy type player. He plays into the whole team toughness thing. The big bad Bruins, he fits in quite nicely. Number 9, Milan Lucic. Yes, we all know about this albatross of a contract that he's got for the next, oh boy, 4 seasons here. I'm just looking, 1, 2, 3. No, next 3 more seasons after this at $5.25 million. He's 31 years old. Now, he plays on the third, the fourth line for that kind of money. It's obviously ridiculous, but at least he's on this list, right? Right? Number 8, we've got Lawson Krause of the Arizona Coyotes. This guy was a very high draft pick in the first round. I want to say top 5 somewhere. I should have it here, shouldn't I? Draft year. Yeah, he was 11th overall, picked by Florida in 2015. Anyways, 6'4", 220 pounds. Big boy, only 22 years old. So there's still some time here with this guy for him to blossom. He signed for 2 more years after this one at $1.5+ million, and then he's an RFA with arbitration rights. Now, so far, the most points he's put up has been like around 20-25. Nothing spectacular. I believe he plays on that third-ish line. But, he plays up and down the lineup depending on injuries, because Arizona's had a lot of them in the past couple seasons. So keep an eye on this guy, because you never know in what area he might blossom. Maybe he'll turn into, like a super-powered new version of Ryan Reeves. We don't know. We'll see. Next up, let's look at number 7. Nick Foligno of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now he's got 212 hits on the season. This guy's been a captain like forever, of course. In the beginning of his career is with the Ottawa Senators. He's 6 foot, 208 pounds. He's 32 years old now. He's up there. And he's signed for 1 more year at $5.5 million. Now, he's by far and away past the years that he's put up, 30 goals. I think, that was 2014-15 when he had just over 30 goals. And his last big point season was 2016-17, where he had 26. Now you're looking at about a 30 to 35 point player who plays up and down the lineup and adds a lot of character and grease, so to speak. He's a Mike Babcock kind of player. Moving on, let's talk about number 6 in William Carrier of the Vegas Golden Knights. He is a hitting monster. He's been leading the league in the top 3 for the past 3 seasons. Him and Ryan Reeves just destroy other teams. They obviously become more valuable in the playoffs. Now, he's 6'2", 218 pounds. He's only 25 years old, so he's got that going for him. And he is signed, he's got an extension that he signed for 4 more seasons with the Golden Knights at $1.4 million. Not bad for a fourth line player. He's been injured a lot. I think this year it hasn't been too bad, but last year he just seemed to be on the IR like every 15 games, playing the way he does. This will probably be the biggest contract he ever gets, because I just don't see his body taken that kind of wear and tear year after year. The most points he's ever put up in a season is this season actually, yeah, 19. 7 goals, 19 points. And his plus minus, he's a 0. So that's a good thing, right? Next up, we've got number 5, Matt Martin of the New York Islanders. We should all know this guy by now. Mostly he's played for the Islanders. He played a couple seasons for the Leafs. And when Lou Lamoriello went to the Islanders to become GM, he traded for Mr. Matt Martin to come back there. Now he's a little pricey, but he's in his final season of his contract. Yeah, just double checking it here at $2.5 million. Pricey for a fourth line player for sure. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. He's 30 years old. So, I mean, he's already kind of been dipping. He's not a great fighter anymore. He's a good fighter, but he's definitely on probably one of the most effective fourth lines in the league, playing with Cizikas and Clutterbuck. Those guys have made quite a reputation for themselves. And Martin, he's going to put up maximum 14 points in a season. And his plus minus seems to be okay. So there's that. And, he's been on this hit list forever. Next up, we've got number 4, Brandon Tanev. He's a newly minted Pittsburgh Penguin. Of course, he used to play with the Winnipeg Jets for quite a few years. Now, he's 28 years old. He's not young. And he's probably one of the smallest guys on this list at 6 foot, 180 pounds. That's about, on average, I want to say he's about 40 pounds lighter than most of the guys on this list. That's amazing just right off the bat. When it comes to his points, he's putting up, they're okay. I mean, last season with Winnipeg, he put up 29. That was a career high. And this season, he put up 25. Not bad. He passes the eye test. He just looks like an Energizer bunny out there, hitting everyone and everything. He's a forechecking machine. It's just this contract, I mean, he's signed in Pittsburgh. He's got 5 more years at $3.5 million for the most part a fourth liner. Oh yeah, maybe he'll play up and down the lineup. I would say maybe third line at the most. I mean, Pittsburgh has gone through a lot of injuries, especially this season, and every season it feels like. And he's stepped up in some and moved up, up and down that lineup, and he's played well. 28 for 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5 more years at 3.5. I guess only time will tell. Next, let's talk about number 3 on this list, which is Tom Wilson. No one's surprised, right? Yeah. He's got 253 hits on the season. He's a big boy. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. He's only 25 years old, and he's signed for the next 4 years at just over $5.1 million. It's a pretty good deal, really, for his age, for the kind of points that he puts up. He puts up, between 35 and 40 and 45 points a season. He put in 22 goals last season. He's at 21 this season. He'll probably keep up that pace at least for the next 2 or 3 years. This is probably one of the best contracts, pound for pound, on this list. Until we get to number 2, which is Brady Tkachuk of the Ottawa Senators, who's got 303 hits. He just continues to climb this list. What is this? His second year in the NHL. This is his second 20-plus goal season. And he had 45 points last season. He's got 21 goals and 44 points this season. And he's a hitting machine. So he's huge. He's 6'4". I mentioned he's 20 already. He's 20 years old, and he's only 212 pounds. I would think he might beef up a little over the next season, off season, and the season following. and I mentioned it a few times, he looks like a bigger, meaner Jamie Benn of the future, is what this kid looks to be. Ottawa has really got a gem in this kid. Very selfless player. And number 1 on this list is Mr. Ryan Reeves. We all know him as the most feared fighter in the league. Which is surprising because if you saw my video, my second video, in which we talked about top 10 players in penalty minutes, he's not even on that list. He's not even in the top 20, really. And let's see what he's like. Has he played? Yeah, he's played almost every game this season. So he seems to be just really picking his battles. And yes, I know he's a fourth liner who only plays around 10 minutes a night. But still, yeah, he's only got only 47 penalty minutes so far this season. Now, sitting at number 8, the guy at number 8 from Washington, Hathaway, has 79. Reeves is nowhere near that. But he's at the top of the hit list with 316. And he's been doing it for the past few years. And he's been probably the best fighter in the league for at least the past 3-4 years. Have you seen him fight Tom Wilson? Yeah, if you haven't seen that, which I think happened last season, and their commentary afterwards, Google it. It's hilarious. Now, he's 33 years old. He's 6'2", 225 pounds. And he's in the last year of his contract, which he's making $2.775 million. So, yes, that's obviously pricey for a fourth-line player, but for one of the best fourth-line players in the league in terms of standing up for your teammates and such, you could say he's worth every penny. I mean, he's -5 this year, but last couple of years he's been in the plus department. And the thing is, because of all the uncertainty with, the coronavirus and the league shutting down and the salary cap, which may or may not go up at all, after this season, who's going to have room for this guy? And you think if he wants to go to a contender, he's going to have to take a pay cut. That's my educated guess. Otherwise, unless he goes to a team like, I don't know, name someone who's not in the playoffs. Buffalo, maybe they'll give him, a couple $1 million. But I don't know. I only see him making half that kind of money if he wants to chase a cup, because I don't think he's won one yet. Nope, no. He's been on a lot of teams now that have come close. He was on St. Louis. Then they got traded, so he hasn't been on St. Louis when they won the cup. He hasn't been on Pittsburgh when they won the cup. But talk about like a year after and a year before. Maybe if Vegas trades him, maybe they'll win the cup. Yeah, it's kind of a funny stat. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. That's it. That's all. I'm sorry this video is so long. Hit that like button if you like this video. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And hey, don't forget to hit that notification bell to let you know when my next video will be coming out. This one's a little later than I thought would be coming time-wise, so my apologies for that. But yeah, what are you gonna do? Catch you soon.